Poppy might not die at the end of chapter 5. What happens to her has been right in front of our faces this entire time. October 12th was Poppy Playtime's anniversary, and every year on this date they have released something. This year, Mob Entertainment gave us this. I don't think anyone was expecting to see something this intense. It's incredible, and I'm so glad they gave it to us. Now, on the surface level, this is simply just the prototype holding a Poppy doll head. The background is outside of the labs, and it looks like any other Poppy Playtime cover art. However, with anything Mob Entertainment releases, there are layers to this. Hidden themes potentially teasing the game's end. I've been staring at this a lot more than anyone probably should. Because of this, I think I figured out what exactly it means and how it reveals the ending of Poppy Playtime. Okay, so first of all, I want to stress that this could just be art. A fun teaser designed to make us think, all while it's just as simple as it looks. The prototype holding a Poppy head. I'm very aware of that, but I do want to try and pull back some of its layers to explore its different themes. Now, let's first look at this as if the prototype is holding the actual head of Poppy herself. And to support this, we need to compare this head to her model. There's the red cheeks, red lipstick, freckles, and that's kind of it. This one doesn't even have eyebrows. The artwork's head is clearly cracked, while Poppy has never looked like this. However, under her right eye, there is one strange crack on Poppy's model that is absolutely intentional. It sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's something I noticed while playing chapter 4. This obviously isn't a mistake. It's not a texture issue, glitch, or anything like that. This is meant to be on her face. But where did it come from? Honestly, I'm not sure. It could have came after she saved Kissy. Maybe the prototype scratched or cracked her, something like that. Or maybe Poppy is even aging, more or less wearing down after being in a doll for over 50 years. Her porcelain material is starting to crack and fall apart. Either way, this is clearly a scratch or crack. This same exact crack can be seen on the Poppy head in the art. Yes, you could argue this is just a random cracking considering the way the rest of the doll looks. But what if it's not? What if this does mean this head is in fact Poppy's? Well, it would mean this art just teased the ending of the chapter, but with two different possibilities. First, that Poppy dies. How would this happen? Well, let's take a look at what she was trying to do in chapter 4. Her plan was to stop the prototype, but at the cost of these still alive toys. Well, except for us, her, and Kissy. You see, her plan was flawed from the start. She wants to quite literally blow up the factory. This would either destroy the prototype or lock him underneath everything. After doing this, we would just walk right out, as she says herself. But we know this plan would not go over smoothly. Blowing up the place would ultimately destroy everything and everyone. Us, her, Kissy, and the rest of the toys, everyone would perish. This was why Doughy was against it. Furthermore, if we did manage to walk out of the place, word of the Bigger Bodies initiative would get out because they would see these massive giant toys roaming the streets, meaning the experiments wouldn't stop. Someone would just continue Harley's work. This is why Poppy's plan is flawed. Even if her and Kissy survived the explosion, she would have killed the others to stop the prototype, but the experiments would continue. So, to prevent this from happening, the prototype moves the explosives we placed, instead destroying Safe Haven and causing us to almost fall to our death. You see, he wants to keep all the toys inside Playtime Co. to prevent the Bigger Bodies initiative from getting out. The prototype wants the experiments to stop just as much as Poppy. He will do anything to achieve this, even if it means destroying Safe Haven. To him, it's a sacrifice for the greater good. I mean, that's even why the Hour of Joy took place, something that was orchestrated by the prototype. This suggests the prototype is not actually a bad guy, which is something I think we will learn in chapter 5. So how does understanding Poppy's and the prototype's plan help explain why she dies? Well, it's because the prototype kills her to stop her from letting any experiments out. Another sacrifice for the greater good. He destroys his own daughter to put an end to the Bigger Bodies initiative. The creator destroying his first creation to stop it all. That would be a truly cinematic ending to the game. However, I don't think it's going to be that cut and dry. So let's explore the second possibility to the chapter's ending if this is Poppy's head. To do this, we need to understand what the prototype said to Poppy at the end of chapter 4. After the big reveal, she asks him what he's going to do with her. And he says, "I've got something special in mind. I prepared it just for you, and this one you'll never want to leave." He then goes on about how Poppy kept missing the point. It's always been about her and him. What they are, that's not a truth that can be burnt away. Not when it can mean so much more. So, a plan for her where she will never want to leave. How what they are, father and daughter, can mean so much more. Now, you could interpret this in a few different ways. That's why it's so vague in the first place. It's to make you guess as to what it really means. So there's no right or wrong answer here, but I interpret this as his plan for them to both make history together. You might have noticed this poppy head has no eyes. It's an empty shell, if you will. Remember the little secret the prototype and the doctor were trying to crack from the tape in chapter 4? Remember how there are orphans in the labs that are supposedly still alive? I think that secret and the still alive orphans ties into what the prototype was saying to Poppy. A secret of cracking true immortality without needing the toys. The Bigger Bodies Initiative was a start to this, transferring human consciousness into a toy. It could eat, breathe, and even feel emotions. It was the human, but without any past memories. But what if they took this Bigger Bodies Initiative even further? What if they took the human consciousness from the toy and placed it into a new human body? No longer would it be trapped inside a shell of plastic and fur. A brand new body as a kid, a chance to start over or be reborn again. Now you may be asking, why would you transfer a kid into another kid's body? Well, there could be many reasons for this, but I think it's because of illness. To save a life, to give them a second chance. This sort of ties into Elliot's overall goal with Playtime Co., his toys being the reason for a child's smile, but now to also bring that happiness even further and giving them another chance at life. Who knows, they could even try this with adults. Maybe Elliot wants to be reborn again, ridding himself of the horrific body he's trapped in. That is why we don't see any eyes in this doll. He took Poppy out of it and transferred her consciousness into a new orphan. That's why the prototype was keeping them alive. It's to get his daughter back, because remember, it's always been about her and him, the creator and his creation. She'll never want to leave if she can live forever. That is what I think this art is teasing. Now, I recognize this basically means they are killing one orphan to save another, which doesn't really make sense. But in Poppy's case, it sort of does, taking a life away to bring her back as a human. If the prototype is truly a villain and not a good guy like I suggested, well, this would prove it. He is willing to take a life to get his daughter back. Okay, so what if it's not her head? In unused content for chapter 1, there was a room filled with Poppy heads, meaning this could just be another unused doll that the prototype found. Yeah, pretty simple. Maybe he was trying to just make another version of Poppy, but I doubt it. It could just be symbolizing she somehow dies. Overall, regardless of my theory as to what this art is teasing, the core theme of it remains the same: the creator and his creation. Elliot Ludwig and his first successful doll, Elliot and his daughter. After all, we finally know for a fact that the Poppy doll was named after his daughter. It all started with these two, and that's how it's going to end. It'll be a full circle moment for the story. What are your thoughts on this artwork? I kind of just wanted to give my in-depth take on it. I really enjoy exploring the deeper meaning behind things, so it's always fun to speculate, even though I know I'm way overthinking it. So let me know your thoughts about it all in the comments below, and if you like horror game content like this, please consider subscribing. Also, I have a Discord server, so if you want to chat with me, I recommend joining. And if you want to support the channel more, you can become a member. Don't forget to follow my Twitter at TerrifyT. Thanks for watching.